Evening. This is Yin Yoga, and I am Akasha Kirti. Welcome. I'm so glad that you could be here tonight and take this opportunity to really give yourself some loving kindness and care for your body. As I introduce the theme, the invitation here is just a tiny bit of movement before we move into our yin practice, which has a lot more stillness. But perhaps it would feel good to just kind of rotate yourself around rotate your torso around here for a moment, maybe even let your eyes close, just moving as quickly or as slowly as feels good to you. And I'll just talk to you for a moment about what we're going to be doing tonight. So our theme for tonight is we're focusing on our spleen meridian. And the spleen meridian is associated with the emotion of worry and overthinking, as well as some other things that we'll talk about once we move into the practice. We'll also do some work tonight on loosening up our neck. Right? So we tend to hold a lot of tension in our neck. So as we're working on this spleen meridian, which is a really wide-reaching meridian, we'll also just soften in our neck and help release and reduce that tension. Okay, so go ahead and find center now. Let those circles stop. Have a nice long spine. Feel as if you're being lifted up through the crown of your head. Let your chest lift. And then take 5 deep breaths here, inhaling through your nose, pausing for a moment with the breath held, and then exhaling with a sigh. Do that 4 more times. Really fill into the very bottom of your lungs. Fill up the whole length of your lungs, and then exhale all the way out. Couple more times here. Good. Let your breathing return to normal, and just notice where you're at tonight, how you're feeling, what you're thinking, accepting everything. And just start to feel yourself already softening. Okay, now moving into our first yin pose. So moving into shoelace, let your left leg be underneath and let the knee point forward. Right leg crosses on top. So whatever your version of this looks like is just great. If you'd like to feel more intensity, you'll move your legs out so that they're more even with the front of your mat. And for less intensity, you can walk those back closer to your body. If you like, you can even take a blanket or block or something if you've got a gap here and place something for your leg to rest on. Then, because we're working a little bit with the neck tonight, and feel free to skip any of these neck things if they don't feel good or if you feel like you don't really need them tonight. But otherwise, go ahead and let your right ear move towards your right shoulder. And then find the just right spot. So maybe your nose tips down toward the ground a little bit, or maybe even up just a tiny bit. So find the spot that feels like the sweet spot for a nice neck stretch here. And then just let yourself find stillness. And let's really flood our body here with a lot of air. Inhale really deeply and exhale. And feel your shoulders, especially your left shoulder, really softening down to the ground to give an even more soft, gentle stretch to your neck. We're just going to stay on this side with our neck the whole time we're on this side with our legs so that it can really soften. Maybe you even take your hands and just gently massage your feet for a minute. So this spleen energy that we're talking about, you can leave your neck stretching. I'm just going to, maybe your eyes are closed. I'm just going to lift mine up so I can talk to you for a little bit more easily here. So this spleen, think of it like a mother. It has a lot of mothering kind of energy to it. So what makes our spleen feel really happy and regulated are mothering sorts of things. So our spleen loves home stability. It loves routine. It loves regular meals, at regular times, and warm broth, and cooked vegetables, and just all of these sort of sweet, nurturing routines and settling kinds of activities are what support our spleen. Okay? So as you're here in this position, feeling this stretch through your right hip, feeling this stretch through the side of your neck, maybe also just inviting that soft, mothering energy into your practice tonight. So letting yourself fully move into yin. Out of the busyness, out of the activity, out of the heat and the movement, and into the Ida, into this energy channel that is in all of us, that is the feminine energy channel, that is cool and soft and calm and dark and slow and steady. So inviting yourself with the breath to just get really soft here. Really calm. And if you're not able to really access that feeling of nurturing energy, maybe you're feeling extra depleted, like a lot of us are right now, then feel as if you're drawing on the energy of Mother Earth. Okay. Just pull that mothering energy in. Maybe you seek mothering energy from role models of mothering energy in your own life, or maybe those don't exist very much for you. And so you seek this nurturing mother energy that is available to you energetically just around you. Just feel yourself pulling it in, letting yourself get soft. And then very gently bring your head back to center. And then softly unwind your legs, maybe finding a little bit of movement or a little bit of stretch here before we move to the opposite side. Then whenever you're ready, let your right knee come forward. Left leg crosses on top this time. And once again, just feel this hip out. So it may feel more or less tight than the other side. Maybe walking your feet forward or maybe bringing them closer to your body. And use whatever supports you have around here so that this feels like a nurturing posture, where you're just at the edge of sensation, so it's not too much to start with. And then maybe if it feels in flow for you, just gently letting your left ear move to your left shoulder. And it might feel good right here, or it may feel good to just super softly tuck the head, curling the nose down toward the ground. And long, deep breathing here. Your spleen meridian travels all the way up the insides of your legs, and it crosses a bit in your stomach, along the sides of your chest, comes all the way up and actually lands in your mouth. So as we do different poses and postures, we're not only helping to release this connective tissue, this fascia, but we're also helping to soften and release these channels of energy where the energy flows. So in the spleen meridian, when the energy of this channel is blocked, not only can you feel that overthinking or that worrying, but there can also be things like fatigue, exhaustion, muscle weakness, obesity. There's a lot of things that come with having a weaker spleen. Your spleen is this really powerful lymphatic organ. So it's cleansing red blood cells and bringing in white blood cells, attacking foreign invaders. It has this really important immune system role as well. Spleen's really good, also a really important functional role in digestion. So how can you invite softness and that sort of mothering energy onto this side? Maybe you can notice if you're being aggressive at all with, moving your head where you want it to be or pushing your legs out. Maybe there can just be a little bit more softness and a little bit more of an invitation. Feeling that sense of support moving up from Mother Earth. Let it travel all the way up through your central channel, through your spine. And travel all the way back down. Can your forehead just be soft? Can your eyelids be soft? Can your breath, even though it's deep, be soft? Last little bit here. Acknowledging the sensations. And then letting your head come slowly back to neutral. Maybe a little bit of shoulder rolls, or maybe even a little bit of massage of your neck for a moment. Be really gentle. Sometimes when my neck is really sore, I try and stretch it too aggressively and it actually makes it worse. Yeah? So be nice and gentle. Let's unwind our legs. And then just find any natural or organic movement here, or stillness, whatever your body is asking for. Moving for just a couple of breaths, maybe the eyes stay closed or soft. Now moving into butterfly pose. So bringing the soles of the feet together. I'm playing with the distance here away from your body. So moving that away from your body for less intensity and closer to your body for more intensity. And if for some reason that is not enough intensity, which is pretty rare, but you can place a block or something between your feet to increase the intensity even more. Then from here, we normally would rest our head on the block, but since we're working a bit with the neck, perhaps you just let your spine get long here and then just drop your head toward your chin towards your chest. So you're stretching out through the back of your neck. Might even feel good to have a little bit of movement in your neck just at the beginning. Just some really gentle yes, no movement. And you can play with letting your spine curl or keeping your spine extended. For me, I feel it feels a bit better in my neck when my spine is actually long and straight. You can find the spot that feels best for you. And again, maybe you give your feet a little bit of love here, a little bit of a squeeze. And if you want to bend forward even, you can even take your hands on your feet and anchor those so that you're bending your elbows a bit and then letting your neck hang, if that feels in flow. We, as a universal society right now, I think are just so tired, right? We're so tired. So just let your body rest, even though it's an active rest, a stretching rest. Let everything that can rest, rest. Let your shoulders soften. Let your brow soften. Let your jaw soften. Just be soft here. Be really, really soft with yourself. Been doing a lot of exploring with and reading about and learning about feminine and masculine energy, which we both have. I mean, we have both. We all have both. And this feminine energy, the yogis talk about it moving like a wave. So it's this kind of movement up and down, right? And the masculine energy in us is more of a stable kind of energy. So one thing that I've been playing with that you can think about if it feels and flow for you tonight is this idea that this waving feminine energy is asking for support, is asking for love, is asking to be seen and heard in its awareness, right? In its awareness and its sensitivity of everything that's happening around. And the masculine energy inside of us is providing this stability, this listening. It's the provider of that. So maybe for a moment, letting yourself feel whatever the predominant feeling is that you've been having today or this week or lately. And then letting yourself really feel it. Letting it be, accepting it, and then letting this other part of you hold that part, right? So letting yourself feel it and letting yourself hold it, so you're both holding and being held in that feeling. So lending yourself the perfect support, the perfect nurturing that you would wish from the world, or from your family. Giving yourself that perfect, loving support, that nurturing tonight. And letting yourself come up from that slowly, helping your knees back together, and then moving any way you'd like for a couple of moments. Now moving into half dragonfly. So bringing your right foot into your left thigh, opening the left leg out, and then just doing this a little bit differently than we normally do so we can keep working on our neck a bit if you'd like. So just coming down onto the left side And it may feel good to bring a pillow or something with you to help you with this. And then letting your ear come down to your arm. Maybe you even prop it here, whatever feels good. It might feel nice to bring your right arm around to your low back to kind of open up through your chest. So we're doing a little side through the stretch through the side, stretch through the neck, as well as this stretch through the inner thigh. So there's no exact right or wrong here, anything that feels good to you. If this isn't working for you to come onto your side, then maybe you come forward. So just make it work for you and your body. For me, it feels kind of nice to just gently, ever so gently, rest my head, my hand on my head. And then just breathe. Even if you're stretching through your chest and shoulder, keep the shoulders soft. Keep the neck really, really soft. And let every single place where you feel sensation in your body, let that be a beacon to you. Let it be a notice me, stay in your body, be here kind of a thing. So let those sensations keep calling to you and inviting you back into the present moment. Very slowly making your way up to center and switching to the opposite side. Feel free to take a little interlude there if you need one. Opening up to the side, maybe bringing your support over to this other side, and go slowly, carefully, carefully. Ease your body in, knowing that each side's going to be different. And maybe the just right spot on this side is just a little bit different than the just right spot on the other side. That's okay. Breathe and feel, 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 feel. Let yourself feel. Make sure you're soft through your jaw. Maybe even wiggle your jaw around a little bit. Give it a yawn. Let it be soft. let your mind start to soften too. That can be done with just tracing the breath. Let your mind just follow the breath. Or let your mind really focus on the sensations. Or maybe visualizing nurturing energy. To me, in my mind, that looks like maybe a big warm blanket. Maybe being rocked, held. Just keep breathing in this softness. And then slowly coming up out of that. Perhaps setting your props aside. Any little bit of movement might feel good to super gently bring your chin to your chest again. Some shoulder rolls might feel good here. Okay. From here, moving into fish pose. We'll do a supported fish. So placing some sort of support, really anything's okay if it feels good to you, right at the base here of your shoulder blades. And then you can let the head hang all the way back here and land on the ground behind you to really get some nice movement in the neck in the opposite direction. Or if that feels too far or uncomfortable, you can place something like a pillow or a blanket on the ground to bring the ground a bit closer to you. So the idea with fish pose is that we're opening up through the chest. You can decide what feels best with your legs. Maybe they're extended, maybe they're bent, maybe the soles of your feet are together again. So just choose what feels good. I choose different things on different days. You can put a little bit of support here, like a rolled up blanket or towel under your low back if you're finding that your low back is unhappy. And then decide where your arms feel best. Maybe they're open to the side, maybe they're resting on top of your chest or belly. And soften through the back of the neck, so that that throat can open. The thyroid and parathyroid can be activated. Open through your heart space. Soften everything with the breath. Let your jaw be soft. Maybe you even let your mouth hang open just a little bit. Because we all have a tendency to clench our jaw, right? They've found that the amount of dental work has gone up since COVID. People are grinding their teeth, they're holding all that tension in. So release through the jaw, release. And maybe you can even imagine or picture some loving, nurturing, mothering, kind, stable energy moving in through your heart space. Maybe it can have a color or a sheen. Get soft. As you inhale, really fill that, your lungs to full capacity so that you're opening up even more through the heart space, through the chest. Softening the back of the heart, the shoulder blades. And then gently roll off or lift up and remove your support from underneath you. And then just from here, after any movement that you need, we're going to come onto your stomach for broken wing. So bringing your arms out to the sides of your body in a T, and then rolling over onto your left shoulder. So this left arm stays out and back, roll onto your left side, and then let your head just drop down to the mat so that you're getting a really gentle neck stretch here, as well as opening up and stretching through this left shoulder. And then just breathe. Sometimes it feels good to kind of play with this leg and do some different things, and sometimes it just feels good to let it rest. And just like we've been playing with the neck in different positions, it may feel nice to do a little subtle adjustment by just gently looking down at the mat, or maybe just a slight adjustment up. So just see what feels best for stretching your neck here. Keep it nice and soft. Maybe your right arm can stretch back as well, to either to the low back or to the left hand, or maybe it just stays forward. Get soft through the jaw again. Notice if you're holding yourself away from the ground. Let it go. Get soft. And just noticing where your mind has gone. Deciding where you want your mind to be. Then let's very gently roll back onto the belly. Maybe resting there on the belly for a moment before moving to the opposite side. This time, extending the arms out into a T again and rolling over onto the right shoulder and the right side of the body. Let the head rest. Once again, play with all of your options on this side. Does your leg want to do something? Does your arm want to come back, your left arm? Does your head want to slightly tilt toward the ground to stretch your neck? Maybe placing part of your forehead on the ground. And then once you've had a chance to play for a moment, just get still. Soften your jaw. Soften your breath. Maybe moving back to that idea of nurturing a part of yourself that's been asking for some attention. Maybe you could spend a few breaths once again reaching out in nurturing and love, supporting a feeling and feeling supported. And maybe noticing the way that that feels in your body as you do that. Okay, rolling back gently onto your stomach. It feels really good to me to spend a moment here rolling really slowly because there's a spot at the front of the shoulder that really likes a bit of a massage here. So you could play with that as you gently move back onto your belly and then move however you'd like for a moment. We'll end with a twist. So on your back, rolling over onto your back or coming down onto your back. And we'll do the twisted roots twist, which can be a little intense for some people. So if you find that it's a bit too intense, feel free to do another variation of a twist here. So for twisted roots, you take your right leg, cross it over your left, and maybe just like this, or maybe you tuck your toes underneath your calf. And then just let your knees drop off to the left side of your body. You can put a cushion underneath here if you like. Open up your right shoulder toward the ground, opening up your arms. And to keep with this movement in the neck, you can very gently look out over your right hand. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. You can look straight ahead or even out over your left hand. And breathe to soften through this stretch. Soften your jaw. Soften the jaws. Soften through the shoulders. You're never trying to force anything. You're not pushing your shoulder down. You're just letting it soften with gravity and with breath and intention. So much gentleness. Just looking for any little pieces in you right now tonight that need a little bit of nurturing and love. Reach out to them in love without any judgment, without any harshness, just inquisitiveness. What does it need? Give it some love. Just a little bit longer here. Nice deep breathing. Very gently come back up through center. Move your support, if you had a cushion or something, onto the other side. This time crossing left leg over right, opening arms to the side, legs drop over to the right side. And then opening up through the left shoulder and chest, maybe looking out over the left fingertips or maybe not. Let your eyes just close, let everything get soft and relaxed. We have to be able to cultivate real relaxation, or we are not going to make it through all of this. Right? It's too much. We need real, deep relaxation. Slow your breath down, let your mind follow your breath. Set your body down, consciously set down every piece, let it soften. Let your throat be soft. If you feel a little something in your throat, a little tension, just offer it some love, maybe hum. Offer it some breath. Soften, soften, soften. Keep noticing. Every few seconds, notice. Am I pulling away anywhere? Am I lifting off the ground? Am I tense? And let yourself get soft. Something I said or something you thought triggered you into kind of activity in your mind again, just start to follow your breath with your mind. Get curious about your breath. Where do you feel your breath as you breathe in? Is your breath coming in equally through both nostrils? How much does your belly move with your breath? How much does your chest move? Can your breath have equal length inhales and exhales? Can you feel the temperature of your breath? And notice any difference in temperature from the inhale to the exhale. What does your breath feel like in your throat? Can your throat soften a bit to receive more breath? Very gently now, start to come up out of that. Be soft, be slow. And make your way onto your back. We'll move now into Shavasana. So if you're just doing yin, make sure you stay for at least 5 minutes, just lying on your back in stillness. If you're joining me for Yoga Nidra, the guided meditation,